Good day, Junior Tickies. This is Mrs. Tamalon, and today we're going to look at Activity 4, the Cash Payments Journal, and then in Activity 4B, we are going to look at the General Ledger. So for Activity 4, Part A, the Cash Payments Journal, let's look at the information. They ask us to do the Cash Payments Journal, and they say you are provided with the Salaries and Wages Journals for JT Traders for September 2022. Use the additional information to complete the Cash Payments Journal for 2022. You do not need to total the Cash Journal at the end of the month. Post to the General Ledger at the end of September and balance the account. So number 4.2 will be in Activity Part B. So we are going to focus on the Cash Payments Journal in this activity. Now, if we look at the balances or totals that appeared in the General Ledger, it is also just important to note that part of these are current liabilities and some of them are expenses. So the first part, the SARS, Pay-As-You-Earn, Star Med Medical Aid Fund, Pension Fund, UIF and Skills Development Fund, they are all current liability accounts. So that is the money that is owed to the institutions. In other words, the deduction plus the contribution, and they are all current liabilities. Then from salaries all the way to skills development contribution, this is all expenses that is recorded. So in other words, it is the total cost to company expense accounts that has balances brought forward at the beginning of the month. So then, let's look at the information specific to the CPJ. And they say the Medical Aid Fund, Pension Fund, UIF and Skills Development Levy payments are made on the 7th of the following month. On the 7th of September 2022, EFTs were made in regard to deductions and contributions for August. So you will see the opening balances on the previous slide is literally where we now have to pay those current liabilities, needs to be paid in September. Then all salaries are paid on the 25th of each month. All wages is paid at the end of each week. So in other words, end of each week for September will be the 2nd, the 9th, the 16th, the 23rd and the 30th of September. And then lastly, all amounts owing to SARS is paid on the last day of the month. And that is also why SARS did not have a balance brought down, because it's paid in the month that it was deducted. So in this case, we will pay SARS on the 30th of September. So if we look at the Salaries Journal, what will now be, what was now go into the CPJ in September, that must be this net salaries, the total of 31,950 that is paid on the 25th of September, and our pay-as-you-earn that is paid at the end of the month, so the 30th of September. The rest of the deductions and the contributions will be paid on the 7th of the next month, in other words, in October. So pension fund, medical aid, UIF and contribution will be paid in October. So I will have to bring these balances forward to pay in the next month. Then in the wages journal, what will we pay in September? Yet again, we will pay each wages at the end of each week. So on the 2nd, the 9th, the 16th, the 23rd and the 30th. And we will pay the pay-as-you-earn on the 30th. And the rest, the deductions and the contributions, will be paid on the 7th of the next month. In other words, it will be paid in October only. So let's look at the Cash Payments Journal. So the first entry is the end of the first week that we pay wages. So that is the total of the end of week 1 on the 2nd of September, and we pay 4,507 Rand. The source document is bank statement because the bank statement because we withdrew the cash from the ATM. And then now we need to pay the amounts from August in September. So what is now due? Remember, we are now looking at last month's stuff that must be paid this month in September. So the balances that was brought forward on the 1st of September will be the amounts that we're going to have to pay in September, because they are August's deductions and contributions that needs to be paid now in September. So on the 7th, we're going to EFT Star Med, and we're going to pay them 11,220 Rand to medical aid Star Med. It's very important that you now show again Star Med there. Then, also on the 7th, we pay Momentum 29,226 Rand for pension fund. And remember which pension fund must be mentioned. Momentum. All of these accounts are current liabilities, so they will be in the balance sheet. So that is why we a balance sheet section. And that is why we reference B in the folio column here. Then the last one, SARS. But now remember, there's two things that is owed to SARS in the following month, and that will be our UIF and our Skills Development Fund. So the 1,554 plus the 777 Rand will be paid over to SARS. So a total of 2,331 Rand will be paid to SARS. Why don't we pay SARS as pay as you earn on the 7th? Because it was paid on the 30th of August. And to show that is why it has a zero balance there. And because it is already paid. So if we now continue with the CPJ, we will see that the next is the 9th that I have to pay the wages at the end of the week. Then I pay at the end of the week wages on the 16th. Then I pay wages at the end of the week on the 23rd. And then I have to pay the salaries. So EFT, and now you would see that I've now mentioned that it's EFT number 427 because we've used 1, 2, 3 there. The reason why I say 427 is because there was 3 employees. And I'm not going to put each EFT separately for the employees because the details will already be in the wages journal. So if I want to see who the employees were that I paid, I'll refer back to the salaries journal. So in the CPJ, I just put a line entry for the total creditors for salaries. So sundry employees then, instead of naming all 100 or how many employees you had, we summarize and say sundry employees. The total is 31,950 and it has to go to the creditors for salaries account. Then on the 30th, I still need to pay wages. And then also on the 30th, I need to make an EFT to SARS for the pay as you earn. Now, what is the pay as you earn amount? It must be the amount from the salaries journal. So the total pay as you earn from the salaries journal is 11,921 Rand. And then we have 5 weeks where 524 Rand was paid. So there's a total of 14,541 Rand. And that is then the amount paid to SARS for the pay as you earn deduction. And that is then the end of our CPJ. And that's the end of activity 4, part A. In the next activity, we will look at activity 4, part B, posting to the general ledger. Thank you for listening. This is Mrs. De Mylon. Have a very good day.